Hi everybody and welcome to Cultivation with yours truly. My name is Cassidy McClure and I'm a psychic medium based out of Colorado, and today I'm bringing you a video about this thing that's been on my mind the past week, and essentially it's all about your life and why it is really important to celebrate it for what it is. Again, this might not be your truth. This is my personal truth, so you can take what you like, leave what you don't. But in my opinion, your life is your greatest creation. It is the best thing that you've done to date as a soul, as a spirit. And before you roll your eyes and be like, yeah, but my life sucks, or yeah, but my life's okay, but it's not really like what I want it to be yet, or anything like that. Before you butt me, I just want to try to get this across. Just think about this for a second. This is the way that I understand things. Before you incarnate into your physical body, in the space between lifetimes, I believe in reincarnation. So in the space in between lifetimes, before you incarnate, when you're just a little beautiful speck of light, a little beautiful soul, just pure essence, pure source energy in its own little bubble. I always like to think about it like oil and water. So if you dropped a bit of oil into water and then shook it up, you'd have all the little bubbles, and there's this illusion of separateness, but we're all still kind of oil, right? Oil being source energy, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. So here we are as like little points of awareness, sparks of energy, source energy. And we're in between lifetimes. We sit down with what I like to call your council of souls. This is a group of people. Could be some ascended masters, could be ancestors, spirit guides, a mix of all of them. Your council of souls sits down with you, and they're kind of like your rocket launch team at NASA. So before the rocket goes off, you have everybody sitting down at NASA, and they do their best to plan the life and everything, and then they kind of send you off, and once you're up in space, you're up in space. And hopefully the mission goes the way that it's supposed to go. But we all have free will, so, we have choice. But our little team, our council of souls, likes to kind of check on us, make sure we're doing good along the way. And then when we pass, they hang out with us and they look at our lives, I guess the life that we had just lived, and they check it out and they're like, okay, cool, so here's the karma that you accrued, here's the karma that you got rid of, let's kind of design the blueprint for your next life. And so in that liminal space, you have a lot of knowledge. You have all the knowledge of the life that you have just lived, and then you also get opened up to the access accessing the full knowledge of who you are and who you've been as a soul throughout the history of time. So I guess to simplify it, you would kind of get full or a more full access to your Akashic library, or to your soul book, or every past life you've ever lived. So you get opened up to the entirety of who you are. And once you're opened up to the entirety of who you are, and you have the knowledge of the life that you've just lived as just like a little sliver of who you are, again, it's to what I understand, we are not fully embodied in our physical bodies as like everything we are. We can be fully embodied to an extent. So we can be fully embodied in this body, in this life, in this incarnation as who we are. So I can be fully embodied as Cassidy, or you could be fully embodied as, Joe, right? But the majority of who we are, which is quite expansive, can't really fit into this little thing that is the physical human body. So a lot of us doesn't even really incarnate. And so when we die, we have access to seeing all of who we are and what we've done throughout eons. And a lot of the time with clients, I will If we're doing a lot of healing work, I will bring in what I call their Akashic record keeper. This is a part of their higher self, a part of them that hasn't incarnated into the physical body, and it'll help them access some of their Akashic records. So some of those past life stories or some of that past life information that might be helpful to them in their present time situation. So you get opened up to all of that. You have access to all of that. You sit down with all of these wise souls, and you really are too, especially when you're in your highest form. You're going to be at least a little bit more wise than you might be on this low vibrational human plane. But you have access to seeing you really get to see all of the cards on the table. You get access to all of the cards. So once you do that, you're able to begin to create the blueprint for your next life. So the life that you're living right now, you had access to everything you've ever done as a soul previous to this life. And I know that might sound like a little bit hard to fathom or grasp, and it's like, okay, cool, so then why did I create a life where this shitty thing happened and this shitty thing happened, and maybe I struggle with this mental thing or this physical ailment, or why did a parent pass when I was young, or if this was the best thing that I could possibly do, why did I create this mess, right? So again, I ask you to just try to shift out of that for a second and think that perhaps all of the hardships of your life that you've had this far, that you have created for yourself, and also, mind you, when you created them for yourself, you were in a vibration where pain and suffering and misery and depression and fear and anxiety and hurt, none of those things can exist at that vibration. I mean, even if you just think scientifically, this vibration is super high up here, and everything else that's that low, fear, depression, whatever, all of that's too low. That's why it kind of sinks into this physical plane where we have time and space. So we have all of this, I lost my train of thought. What am I trying to say? Oh yeah, so we're kind of looking down, creating our lives, and we create the hardships in our lives on purpose because they're going to maximize our soul growth or our soul potential. They're going to maximize and allow us to expand. They're going to just maximize our potential. And so we plan these for ourselves, but we do it in a space of pure bliss. It's almost like being at a meditation retreat or on vacation, and you're like, I'm going to write a novel in a month and a half. I think that's what I'm going to do. I feel really inspired. I think I can do that. In fact, I know I can. And then once you get back from your vacation and you have your job and maybe your kids are screaming and maybe you're sick, and then you think, why did I try to make this deadline for myself, or why did I create this for myself? Well, because when you're in that place, you know your full potential. You can see everything that you are and everything that you've been. And so you know you can handle the next thing that you're going to throw at yourself. And, if you're watching this, you've survived. You've survived all of those incredibly painful, horrible experiences that have happened, and you have created the best things that have ever happened to you. That's the other thing. If we are taking responsibility for creating the pain and the suffering that propels us to grow, that pulls back the trigger or the slingshot to launch forth a desire, if we're taking responsibility for that, we then have to take responsibility for the happiest things that have happened in your life, the best memories, the best moments. So in closing, again, just touching on creating your own reality and all that cool stuff, but just see if you can take a couple moments today or this week in general to really think about how amazing your life has been, the entirety of it, the struggles and your triumphs, throughout the struggles, the beautiful moments, the love that you've had and shared, the self-discovery that you've had, the accomplishments, the failures, everything. Just thinking about the sum of your life and thinking, wow, what an amazing and beautiful piece of art this is. What a beautiful creation this is. And it is so perfect. It's so perfect for me. I made it because I knew that I could expand this big and contract this tightly. I knew that I could do it, and that's what I created. And how goddamn beautiful is that shit? It's amazing. You know, I always go back and forth. I'm like, should I cuss in these videos? I don't know. And then sometimes it just comes out and it happens, because that's just the way it be sometimes. That's just who I am. So yeah, take a couple minutes today or every day and kind of just take a deep breath in and look around you and think about how cinematic sometimes your life is and how beautiful of a movie it would be, and know that you created it and are creating it, and it's the best thing that you've been able to create for yourself so far. And the next life is going to be even better, and the next day is going to be even better. The next hour can be even better. The next minute, if we realize this and if we are consciously tuned into this. So yeah, that's what's up. I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and I hope you continue to. I'll see you around here next time.